and it involves microplastics. If you don't know what microplastics are, where's the rest of my article at? Dang it. I had this crash earlier and I had to try to find all my articles right before the show started. I know. Don't judge me, please. So, yeah, let's pull this up. We'll use this for right now. Okay, so I was in a discussion, and I'm not like being like calling anybody out or anything like that. I'm not trying to be a jerk about this in any way, shape, or form. But I was on Facebook. I engage with a lot of people on Facebook. Mainly, my main crowd on there is the crowd from when I was working with the Friendly Neighborhood Atheists. I'm still, active and working with them. We just haven't done anything in a while. Ethan's been taking a sabbatical, but I was he had made this post about it was like a out of body experience thing with saying that the liberalism leaving your body when your plastic or when your paper straw starts to get mushy. And I mentioned that you can care about the environment and still not be a liberal, because I don't consider myself a liberal. I consider myself a leftist. Like, oh, you're not a liberal? What are you? Because I guess people assume I'm a liberal because I'm an environmentalist. I don't know, but I don't think liberals have the environmentalism, the best interest of environmentalism at heart, because they're capitalist, and capitalism is antithetical to environmentalism. As long as things are profit driven, then profit will be the main objective, as opposed to sustainability. So immediate profit, especially, who profits off of it first. So I think that capitalism is antithetical to environmentalism. So I'm not a capitalist. Some people, I did mention, some people would call me a socialist. Democrats tend to call me a democratic socialist, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Okay with socialist too, but again, I prefer the term leftist because it better describes the spectrum of my position. Obviously, and invariably, conservatives would call me a communist, but I'm not. I don't consider myself a communist. I don't subscribe to any particular branch of communism anyway. There are some things about communism that I do appreciate, and things that I don't know. But I can say, as a leftist, an environmentalist, and a Gaianist, I do care very much about the organisms and life on this planet and sustaining that. I think that all the organisms should work together to sustain Gaia so that we can keep future generations having this planet to have it. Not a big goal, right? But when it comes to plastics, especially the ones that they make straws out of, polypropylene is what we're dealing with. Of course, other plastics come into play too, polystyrene and things like that. But polypropylene, I hate how that keeps going on my face. I like this view better, so I'm going to scooch over a little bit. All right, so and someone had mentioned back that paper straws do not reduce the carbon footprint. They're not recyclable. They're no better than plastic straws. They hate paper straws, and it's environmental BS. I'm paraphrasing, of course. I'm not going to say who said what or what have you, but I did respond back because I had to, and then some other people responded back too, of course. But I did respond back, and someone had mentioned that that plastic straws were not so much a matter of carbon footprint, but ecological damage, pollution. And the person responded back that, hey, when I see more than 0 cases of a dolphin getting a straw stuck in its blowhole, I will take your argument seriously. So this triggered me to pull up some research that I've done over the years and respond, because this is something I'm passionate about, right? I use reusable straws as often as I can. I did have a nice set of bamboo straws. I don't have them anymore, but I would like to get some more soon. Anyhow, straws aren't the problem in the fact that they're as in the form of straws that they get stuck in something's blowhole. That's not the problem. Problem with disposable one-time use straws is that they're not really recyclable. It's because they're so lightweight that that they can't get down to the machinery properly to recycle them, that they are also often discarded because they are potentially contaminated with food particles, drink particles, things like that, that can gum up the process of recycling plastics. So they're discarded. Even if you put them in the recycle bin, they're thrown out and put into a dumpster, and they make their way into the landfill. And eventually, what we have is, I feel like I should have this pulled up too. Sorry. Oh yeah, it's not under me. That's why. I hate the way that Facebook switches your account now. It'll give you like an alert for, because I have the HiveScience page. It'll give me an alert for that, and then it'll be like, and I click on it, and it'll flip me completely over, and I'm not on my account even anymore. I'm just trying to find what, because it'd be quicker to pull that link. Okay, here we are. Okay, got my response up. Okay, so the polypropylene plastics, they go through a process called photooxidative degradation, or oxidative degradation. So this is the process, like you see it with sometimes with plastic things and stuff, like plastic flower pots are a good example. They're outside exposed to the elements. You notice that over years they start to get brittle and break down and crumble. And straws will do this too. And the seawater, the salt in the seawater is especially good at breaking down polypropylene, which is the main ingredient they use to make disposable drinking straws, right? I'm sure I've lost everybody in the side chat. We're down to 12 people. That's not too bad though. What's going on out here? Hold on. I don't unless Blessed Be is saying something hateful. Because I do want both theists and atheists to feel comfortable in the hive and feel like that they can be heard if they want to engage me directly. So I get if they start dropping slurs or hate speech, that kind of stuff, definitely moderate them. But if they're engaging directly with me, if they have questions for me, just leave it so I can see it. I'm with you though. I trust my mods. So any questions, yeah, you can definitely reach out. But let's get back to topic, because I got to wrap this up here. It's almost noon and I haven't eaten yet. Okay, so where was I? I totally lost my place. Got to talk about the straws. Okay, so microplastics, that's where we were. So microplastic, what is a microplastic? It is what polypropylene, and again, not just polypropylene. There's polystyrene and several other contaminants that find their way into the ocean that are plastic polymers. And then when the seawater, when the salt specifically acts on them, it causes them to break down through an oxidative process, and they turn into these tiny little particles called microplastics, or even nanoplastics. Nanoplastics get inside microbes even. They are so bad for the environment, and they leach a multitude of chemicals that are used, that are contained within the plastic process to make plastic harder or softer. They use different chemical compounds to act on the polymer's structure. But when the salt acts on them, it causes that oxidative breakdown, what was the word again? I keep forgetting. I need to beat it into my brain. It is photo-oxidative degradation. It breaks down the microplastic, and they find their way into basically all sea life. So we see, like, I did a survey in the Pacific near the Galapagos, 77% of carnivorous species, 63% of planktivorous, and 20% of detrivorous organisms had microplastics within their system. Again, they leach out the chemicals that we add to these plastics, these additives that harden or soften the plastics, and it does directly impact the organisms. There are a few specific chemical compounds. I'm trying to look and see. I had them pulled up earlier, but like I said, this all crashed. So I apologize if I don't have the proper names for the compounds that they break down into, but they are detrimental to the development and life cycle of specific organismal groups. And now we are starting to discover that some of this microplastic has settled to the bottom of the seafloors in select regions in orders of magnitude that we did not previously expect to find. So there are literally tons of layers of microplastics on the seafloor now. These polymers get into organisms, causing reproductive, digestive, and respirative degradation to the organisms in their biology. We have here, I think we had, just as an example, and this isn't even barely, these are pretty large. They come down to microscopic levels. Let me just share just an example here. It's kind of a famous image. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it before, but these down here are all the plastic pulled out of just this one fish. This is a rainbow runner in the North Pacific Gyre, which is a very highly polluted region of the Pacific Ocean. It's a big swirling Great Pacific Garbage Patch is sometimes what it's called. It has ingested 18 pieces of plastic in 2008. It's only gotten worse since then. This is not a problem that is getting better. It's a problem that's getting worse. And the options that we have, that's the real problem. The option we have to remove microplastics from the seas are very limited. We're not going to have a lot of success with our current technologies in curbing this. The only steps that we can take right now to curb this, I shouldn't say the only steps, the most efficient steps we can take right now to curb this is to limit our one-time plastic use. So and there are paper straws that are recyclable. It's just a BS claim that there are no recyclable paper straws. There are recyclable ones, but even the non-recyclable ones are going to break down with less detrimental effect to the environment than plastic straws are. Less long-term effect. The biodegradation of papers is, depending on the environmental factors, can be within just a few months, even to up into centuries. But again, depending on this preservation methods. Whereas plastics, there will be variables, but microplastics don't go anywhere. They generally don't go anywhere. So that's where we are. Anyway, enough environmental ranting from me. This was HiveScience News discussing microplastics.